So I raised cattle, commercial cattle, for 30 years, and I switched. I got my first Brahman bull, registered Brahman bull, 6 years ago, and it was Spartacus's dad. And that first Brahman was so awesome, and I just fell in love with him. And I don't regret switching over my commercial herd, my calves now. What I do with the registered Brahmins, it's called seed stock. My calves are seeding other people's breeding programs. But it is ultimately because of steaks and hamburgers that we all have a business. I mean, that's the ultimate, that's why we raise them, okay? Now, Spartacus will never be somebody's hamburger or steak. No one will ever eat this. I love this bull and he'll die on my farm.
Oh, he's giving you kisses for it.
He's burped in my face. String. Spartacus was born here at Briles Farm, and he was born to one of my favorite cows that I call Molly, and she's just a really, really friendly cow with a great disposition. And this is Spartacus's full sister. This is the mom. I breed for this temperament. And Spartacus was born on May 2nd, 2016. And I got to witness his birth and be right there. The mama cow, Brahma mamas can be kind of protective, but this cow loves me, and we have a good relationship. And he came out all speckled, and he was just so adorable with his big long ears and everything. But from the time he was just a few days old, he was very social. I don't know that I didn't imprint on him being there when he was born and being able to love on him, and I probably helped dry him off a little bit. He was born in the evening, so I left Molly and her calf together for the evening, and then the next day I was out there, and she was just so proud to show me her calf and let me love on him and everything else. As he was a calf, every time I would go check on the cows, Spartacus would come up to me just for attention, to get his neck scratched and things like that. His mom and the rest of the herd could walk off, and Spartacus would just stay with me. I mean, they're herd animals. Usually when the herd walks away, a calf will be like, oh, there they go, I gotta go with them. And he would just stay there as long as we would scratch, on him and love on him. So he was just social and just had that personality from day one. And so I just knew that I had to keep him. Pet him. Here, give him a treat. Show me how. Gotta go like this though. Watch out, it's like feeding the hungry hippo. The way their tongue is, it's hard for them to get it out of that way.
I'm nervous.
Okay. Well, when he opens up, just put it in there. And he's got bottom teeth. Yeah, but you do.
That was easy. That was easy. That one's really small. Makes me nervous.
Give him
Give him a taller, a longer. Oh, I dropped it.
You want to be a cowboy?
You want to be a cowboy and sit right here? Look how nice it's big. Good boy.
Gosh, your mom could probably sit up there and you wouldn't do anything.
Yeah. You want to try?
Hold on to the hump. And your mom can hold you. See, you're a cowboy.
Oh, Abby,
Look at that smile. You're a cowboy. Oh, cowboy riding a Brahman bull. Look at you. Oh, look at that.
Good job.
Awesome. I'm not exactly sure. I had some horses and trail rode, nothing fancy, no showing, just really enjoyed trail riding. horses, and Spartacus just had such a nice personality, and maybe I saw somebody on social media that, you know, rode a cow or something, and I was like, well, wonder if we could do this. And then I look back at some pictures I had, and when he was about a year old, you know, I had put a bareback saddle on him to see, you know, if he'd be flustered about it. Nope. And then when he got bigger, about 2 years old, 2.5, I put my Western saddle on him and, you know, put some weight on it. And I was like, wonder if this would phase him. And so I did all the groundwork training you do, but I'm by no means a trainer. But I was like, this would just be something to put on a bucket list, you know, to be able to ride a Brahman bull and stuff. So, I don't know, I guess I like doing different things, but he's just so sweet. And I thought, well, wonder if I could ride him.
My name is Terri Lindley. It's Terri Bowen Lindley on Facebook. And I train horses, camels, zebras, exotic cattle, llamas, alpacas, and I've got to mess with a couple of giraffes. And I'm exclusively mobile. I work nationwide. I have a passport, which I hope to get to at least to Australia after the borders open again. And I'm somewhere North Carolina, I believe. And we're working with Spartacus, 5-year-old breeder bull that Cyana has done absolutely incredible work preparing him.
I've saved up for a year and a little plus to be able to get her. I've been following her on Facebook. I like how she calls people out, but I like her honesty and I love the integrity she has. And it's all about caring about the animals. And you can tell the number of animals that she has fixed. You know, that the owners, not intentionally, but maybe have messed up. You want me to do it for you? Okay.
See all these knots?
Yeah, the knots are so that I don't let them get away from me, but yes. I'll use ones without a knot. The animals, if we're not smarter than them, the animals train us. So there's just this very few individuals that are smart enough to actually understand the way the animals are talking their language and to work with that and to mesh with that and to focus and zoom in and be one with the animals. So I'm sure she's been called everything from camel ninjas to whatever. But so I hired her for 3 days out here at Briles Farm Brahmans. And honestly, after the first day, I was like, if you left today, I got my money's worth. Okay, no release. I mean, no release.
Right there.
You know, what this shows me is on the lot where I tied them, I could groom her from head to tail, but this...
Yeah, and she knows you.
Yeah. But this is good. This is so much what she needs. She's going to go to a strange place and see strange folks.
But she'll stop this shit pretty soon. But she, in the meantime, she's learning to turn right, learn to turn left.
Oh, good.
Because if you don't have a cattle bovine that'll bend through the neck, you can dang sure get in trouble with them. There it is. How easy that is?
Look at that. She wants to go home with you now. Terri has an incredible knack for training the owners that are trainable. I'm sure she does much better with the animals.
The animals are the easy part.
Yeah, right. But she cares about imparting, if people will listen and learn, the knowledge that she has. And it takes a little bit of putting your ego aside when she calls you out and says, you're doing that wrong and quit doing that. You're giving it that message. You're not being consistent. No. And I just want to go, wait, what? Huh? And then I go, yeah, she's right.
See, you just did it again.
You're right.
See, every single time you put a pressure and you don't require the change, you're doing what?
Teaching him that he could get away with not doing
No,
it.
you're desensitizing him and you're confusing him. It's not about him getting away with anything.
Okay.
They learn from the release of pressure. So when they release at the wrong time for the wrong thing, they learn the wrong thing.
Okay.
And if we're inconsistent with the release,
Then I'm
they're
really
confused. They're just confused. So consistency is where they really find trust. It's not all pets and scratches and treats.
It's not. You have to have respect and you have to know what you're doing. And honestly, that Brahman bull, he could take us both out if he wasn't started right. He's not a pet. Yes, I love him. Oh my gosh. You know, he'll have the biggest shrine when he ever passes away, and I'll cry thinking about that. But he is not just a pet. Is he my dream come true? Is he my love of my life? Yes. But I couldn't have him and enjoy him if there wasn't this just huge amount of respect, because he's a bull, you know, and he's a Brahman bull.
You tell him, buddy.
Come on. Come on. Hey, Spartacus. Oh,
tell him.
shush. I'm
Wow.
ignoring you. Come on. Stop
You
it.
tell him.
Come on. Spartacus.
How'd you like to have that snorting thing come after you?
You wouldn't.
That'd be fun, wouldn't it? You tell him, Spartacus.
Now that once they see each other, he's fine. But it's so funny, they live together. But it's a bull thing.
Wow.
Knowing that he is a breeding bull, and several people, but Terri Lindley was one of them, was like, you know, he'll be a lot calmer as a steer. Most likely, you know, testosterone, you know, makes a bull think of several things, and fighting is one of them, and the other one is breeding, and fighting for the right to breed, and wondering if him being an intact bull would affect his personality with riding and public events. So I considered having him castrated to calm him down. But after speaking to a vet at NC State that I sent videos to, and I had contacted him about having him collected and then castrated. And he contacted me and he was like, well, we can still do this. He said, but he's 5 years old and this is his personality and he is so docile. And he basically said, that's not going to change his personality any. I don't know why you would do this. And I was like, oh, okay. So I just thought it was the responsible thing to do, to have a bull, if I'm going to have him in public, you know, have him be a steer, so that nobody could say, you know, what are you doing bringing that bull in public? But Spartacus truly is really docile as a bull. And when he's out in a herd and there are cows in standing heat, I have had him come up to me to have his neck rubbed and then him jump a cow right next to me and then jump off and come right back to be scratched. Now that's a little bit scary because he's so big and, you know, and I just don't want to get knocked around, but there's nothing that is aggressive in his personality. So of course you have to be smart and have control of the animal, but when the vet said it wasn't going to make him any more docile to have him castrated, I was like, well, why do that then? He can keep breeding cows for me. she gave me assignments, you know. She was like, well, we gotta make sure he steers and he can stop and he can go. So here's ground driving. And I had never ground driven anything. I mean, I knew that it had something to do with teaching an animal to steer and do, and especially if they're going to eventually work or pull a cart or things. But, well, you sent me about a minute and a half worth of videos, and I was like...
Which one was it? Was it Igor?
No, it was the longhorn, the young longhorn.
Oh, yeah.
And
Titan.
stuff. Yeah, and you're going through a yard and around a tree and some stuff like that. And I was like, okay, I can try that. So... And they had a saddle on that bull in the little video, and the ground lines were through the stirrups, and we discussed head stalls a little bit. Anyway, so I come out here, and the first time, I'm like, okay, Spartacus, we're going to try this. And the funniest thing is I pull up the video because I want to watch it one more time that she sent me. And I'm like, here, Spartacus, will you watch this? It was
watch and learn.
But I'm like, I'm going to do this. And I felt like I didn't have enough hands, and I was all in his face, you know, but he did great. And then the next time I got better, and the next time, and I mean, he knew what we were doing. It was because of your videos, okay? Spartacus, back. Back. Good boy. Good boy. Let's turn this way. Walk.
Walk with me.
Walk.
Let's leave the past behind. Walk with me. There's something else we need to find. Say you'll go, don't make me wait.
And
there's no need to hesitate. Let's make footprints in the sand. Let's make miracles. Come hold my hand. Let's find something new, me and you.
To have animals is such an honor, but to have animals that are smarter than you, day in and day out, it's a lot of having to go. If he doesn't understand something, it's because I'm not communicating. I'm not
effectively.
Yeah, he's not being a butthead on purpose. There's a few times he's like, well, I really don't want to do that. But then he does. But most of the time, he is just confused because I'm not being consistent. And he doesn't, you know, I'm not speaking his correct language. He's trying to interpret it, but he's like, that just sounds like goobly-gook to me. So
it's confusing.
I'll just stop.
Let's make footprints in the sand. Let's make miracles. Come hold my hand. Let's find something new. Me and
Relax.
Okay!
Louder's not better. Well, when I'm initially watching somebody work their animal, I'm just wanting to see if the animal is responding appropriately, if the handler is asking appropriately, if there's some softness, some feel, some clear communication.
Whoa! I thought he had sense.
There! Let him walk back into the release. Just like if you're asking him to come forward and you're in front of him, let him come forward to create the release. It's exactly the same thing, but now we want him to back into that field to create the release. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but putting it all together is...
Yeah, but just because he stops his feet
Well, he dropped his head, and I thought
I
that
don't
he would.
give if he drops his head. We don't need collection on him. You know, with animals that are this large and this strong, the camels and the cattle especially, and they're so smart. You know, they outsmart you quickly, you know, and or train you quickly, and can become quite dangerous. And I've dang near died a few times doing what I do. I mean, so the way we communicate, not by showing up by God, I'll show you who's boss, you know. It's mentoring, I'm a big sister, I want to help direct and teach you, we're going to dance, but I'm going to lead, you know, let's do this together kind of a thing. So we practice, you know, the animals are the easy part. Learning how to communicate and say the same thing a million times, in a million different ways, till something clicks in how they read or define my words, my wording, my vocabulary, so they can understand what I mean by when I say check, check, you know.
Whoops, and the whip. I'm scared now.
Well, did you feel that small change first? Now pay real close attention to your forearms where the rope is hanging.
Okay, right.
Can you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll feel them.
Look. Feel that?
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, it's pretty cute.
Pretty cute.
What? Yeah, now try to act a little bit more like him. What?
This is fun. No, seriously, because it's really.
There, that's the feel you're looking for. So, what?
Go see my buddy up here.
Ooh. That's what you're looking for. So let's trade places.
Okay.
You're on my face.
Very good.
You're telling me to go, but have the foot on the brake. That's how you want it to feel.
Right.
So go ahead and turn me around.
Walk.
There you go.
Walk. Walk. Good boy. Good girl.
Yeah, try not to absorb it as he backs into it. Be more of a post. Now let me feel, go ahead and ask me to go forward again. I want to feel a little bit of a preview.
Walk.
And he can feel like that.
Yeah, okay. Now I got
Can,
goals.
with consistency and follow through.
Goals. It's gotta be like a 2,000-pound feather on a
Exactly.
string. Oh my God.
When I got here initially the first morning, I said, let me see what you do. Let me see you interact with him. Let me see what's going on with both of you.
A lot of times when I do that, but I don't see him do it, he'll bow and just lean into it. He's like, oh, yeah.
And within an hour, I usually, 90% of the time, I put the owner on the animal first with me handling them in hand. Because I don't want to be up there with the novice handler handling the animal, and because they make me nervous if something goes wrong. But after watching her and me messing with him a little bit, I said, climb on. And she said, she says, well, you get on him first? And I'm like, sure, take a hold of him, let's go. I mean, that's how much I trusted him and how much I trusted her work from what I saw.
You grab the hump instead of the mane. And I scratch his butt behind him too, but he likes all of that. Oh, yeah. Oh, he's like, yep. You're used to camels.
He's an absolute gem. She's done an incredible, not very often I'll climb on a 2,000-pound breeder bull for the very first ride and feel comfortable and be able to even video and ride with one hand the very first ride out, you know, and he's just that safe feeling. You know, he's a good boy and he could kill you, you know. He does everything because he's kind.
And I've been kind to him, but firm.
Right, he's a true gentleman. But
this is my every dream coming true for him. You know, because he was born on my farm. I've been working with him in a way, not all the time, but you know, for 5 years, and thought, he's so cool, he'd be good at this, but what do I know? Because I really know nothing. I had a couple trail horses, but I would never have called myself a good rider even, so. As a matter of fact, I would have called myself a very fearful rider. So to have this dream to me is sort of a big deal. That it's what I want. It's that you only live once. You do it right, that's enough.
there. I'll ride him back up in the barn now for you to get on him.
The first time I got on him, I remember telling myself, breathe, breathe. I wasn't scared. I was so excited to have this dream come to fruition and to actually be on his back riding him. I mean, it was I was so excited. And so I guess it was sort of a nervous energy, but it wasn't that I was fearful in the least. I was just like, oh my God, I'm doing this, you know. So since then, I get excited every time I get ready to mount Spartacus, and it's just such an amazing, exhilarating feeling to ride him. I cannot thank Terri enough. She's an incredible trainer. She's had so many just great pointers with, you know, the Brahmins and animals and animal sense, and wow, she's an amazing gift, truly, sharing so much of her knowledge. She didn't really come out, well, she did to train Spartacus, but she trains the people that the animals, you know, because she knows she's going to fly back home in 3 days, and that the rest is up to the, you know, me. And so that was really nice. Oh,
1850, solid, yep.
okay, sold for $18.50. While Terry was here, she just really believes in taking these animals out of their environment to a different environment with a lot of stimulus and sort of for desensitization, and just so that they can have all those different experiences. If you want to take an animal and put them in a parade or an event where there's cars and streets and different things, you know, you need to take them there and see how they're going to do. So we hauled Spartacus to Denton, because it's just a small country town about 10 miles from here, and just walked all through town. We want to walk them back to the farmer's market, or
Yeah.
video?
I think we ought to go across the street and at least
Okay.
walk around the park.
Okay. Good boy. Good boy. Turn around. Good boy. Don't knock anything over. I have to buy it if you do. Good boy. He was just an ace, you know, walking through the streets and the park and all the strangers and different people that came up. It was just an awful lot of fun to do. The only thing that Spartacus really reacted to at one point is we were on a sidewalk past a beauty shop and another building, and these buildings were glass fronted, and he saw his own reflection in the glass, and it sort of startled him. You could see him kind of bow up thinking, is that another cow? Is that, you know, for just a moment. But Terri was great when she saw him do that. She's like, keep him moving, keep him going, you know, don't give him time to stop and look and react. You know, he's got to pay attention to you. So there was a lot of benefit of taking Spartacus to away from his own farm and his own safety, just to get him used to what it's going to be like being famous. Watching Terri on social media, she very often will take camels and different animals that she's halter training to a Tractor Supply, because there's another, you know, strange place, especially if you want to take an animal into different, you know, nursing homes or just different locations. It's an interesting place to take an animal to get them desensitized and see all the sights and sounds. And I'm like, you say that you welcome all pets. I said, what if the pet is, you know, a 1,900-pound Brahman bull? And they're like, well, do you have control of them? And I'm like, yeah, I think so. You know, they're like, okay, bring them by sometime. We went on a Saturday morning, a friend and I, and walked him through the Tractor Supply. So we walked through and we met the manager, and he was so impressed. And everybody that was there shopping, when they saw him walking through, were like, oh, you know, it was just so much fun to do that. The manager was like, well, how about an event where you bring them and people can come see them? And I was like, that'd be great. And the way that Tractor Supply is set up, their back room, where they have fencing supplies and feed, is a huge area. And I was like, this would be a great place. We'll set up a little pen and we'll have a table. It was just a huge event. There was a line nonstop. People sat there in line, a lot of them for 45 minutes with their kids. Everybody had smiles on, and they waited in line that long just to have 2 or 3 minutes in the pen with Spartacus. So little kids were sitting on them, and people were taking pictures. And the greatest thing about that event, though, is we didn't charge anybody anything. I have had people contact me and were like, well, how much do you charge people? I'm thinking of doing that with my animal. And I'm like, we didn't charge anybody, because it just didn't feel right to let some kid who would just want to come up and pet him and see him not be able to do it because, you know, we were charging $20 a person or something, or I don't know what people would charge for that. But so at 2 p.m., the line was still all the way out the room and into the main part of the store. So we couldn't leave those people in line and just say, well, our time's up, we gotta go. So we were there at least an hour and a half longer than we had planned on it. But it was just a great event, and there were so many smiles, and everybody just really enjoyed that. So that was Spartacus's first huge event like that, and everybody that came signed up, and they're now part of a Spartacus fan club where we contact them and let them know where Spartacus will be next. He pooped it down there. I need a broom, please. He pooped down there at the front of your store.
Okay.
He's got a bucket. We'll need a broom.
Okay.
That broom and dustpan right there.
I appreciate it. No problem. Have you got any wipes or anything that I can get?
We're going to take him out in the pasture. I would like Spartacus to just be an ambassador for the Brahman breed, showing people how amazing Brahman cattle can be and their personalities. I'd like to take Spartacus to, you know, public events where he can meet people and people can, you know, get to learn about Brahman cattle. But I will probably never monetize Spartacus where, you know, I'm charging people to have their picture made with him, or charging people to sit on him, or, you know, sit on him and have me lead him around, or things like that.
Love you, baby. Oh, gosh. Oh, this extra skin.
Spartacus's main goal is to be my therapist. that when I'm having a hard day, I can go out and he can set his big old head on my shoulder and I can tell him all my problems, and he just seems to understand. And there's no price I can put on the bond and the friendship I have with him, and how cool it is to have him in my pasture and know that I can throw a saddle on him and ride him around. So. It is absolutely a dream come true to be able to ride Spartacus. When he was just a little calf wondering if I could do it, to now being able to put a saddle on him and get on and ride him around the pastures. And in a sense, when life has challenges and I wonder, well, could I do this, could I do that? I'm like, well, heck, you know, you're a 50-year-old lady and you can ride a Brahman bull, you can do anything.